The video is finally here. I have gotten so many requests for this over the past year or so, and I figured there's no better time than now to do it. So, for those of you that are looking to improve the graphics and the quality of the way your Sims 4 game looks, this is the video for you. But keep in mind, sometimes with graphic and visual improvements comes stability issues and lag and lower frame rates and all of that stuff. But with what I'm gonna show you today, there should be little to no performance impact on your game. Most simmers out there will be sharing their Reshade presets, but here today, I'll be giving you a download tutorial of not Reshade, but Gshade. It's a little bit different than Reshade. There are more options, there's more compatibility, there's more flexibility, and of course, lower impact on your system so you don't get those performance decreases. I've currently jumped into the Pancakes household. I love these two, and I'm probably gonna use them a lot for some mod overviews and stuff in the future, so you're gonna be seeing them a lot. I know they are not everyone's favorite, but I really like the Pancakes. So what you're looking at right now is a Sims world with no visual effects or improvements. I have changed the season to fall because the fall foliage actually looks amazing with my preset. For some of you, it might be a little too bright, a little too much saturation, but you can always adjust that in the settings. My preset definitely is a really good baseline to work with. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like now. So as soon as I turn this on, everything just lights up. The shadows get a little bit darker. The areas where the sun is exposed get a little bit lighter. There's a bit more contrast between the light and the dark here. It definitely looks a lot more like the sun is setting on a beautiful fall day. The fallen leaves in the street show more, and I really can't describe it, but it just gives such a warm, inviting feeling to see this game and to have it look the way it does, especially with some of these darker colored trees like the dark oranges and the pinks. It just looks so dull and so lifeless without this. And look, even the water and the blues and the reflections, everything just lights up and it looks so much better. Of course, if you want to download Gshade and my presets, I have multiple presets. The one that I'm showing you now is actually my gameplay preset. It's what I use in most of my Let's Plays and mod overviews. So to open up the Gshade menu in the game, you're gonna press Shift and F2. And if you want to toggle on or off the effects, you're gonna do Shift and F3. That's how you can turn this on and off at your whim. And it's like, once you get used to using this, you're just like, oh my gosh, I could never go back. Like, this looks so boring and so dull, and it just brings life to it. It really does. It just looks so much better. It looks so dead. So once you press Shift and F2, it's going to open up a menu that you see here on the left side of the screen. You're going to go up to this bar at the top, and that's how you will be able to select your presets. It will come with a ton of pre-installed ones. You can choose to install them if you want when you're doing the install process, and we'll get to that a little later in the video. But if you don't, they won't be there. If you do, they will be there. So you don't have to use my preset. You can use another one of the pre-made presets, and you can also customize them and then save them as your own and create completely new ones. So this one right here is called Pixelade Gameplay. I have another one called Pixelade Screenshot. And this one is amazing because what it does is it essentially blurs out the background, makes the darker colors darker, the lighter colors light, and it just gives more of a 3D look at objects in the game. Like, look at the way that Bob looks. I'm gonna toggle this on and off, and you can see there's a shadow that is like appearing under his feet, and even some darkness that comes right in front of his arms. This shader honestly makes them look more like renders. So if you want that look for screenshots or for storytelling, then this preset is gonna be perfect. And look, it actually fully blurs out the background. It's perfect for screenshots. And when you turn it off, you lose that blur effect, you lose the color, you lose the depth of field, you lose all of that stuff. Turn it on and it comes to life. It honestly looks like a Disney animation. Like, it looks so good. It produces shadows around her feet, additional darkness in the palm of her hand, more shadows under her arms, near her armpits, of course, and giving that blurred look in the background. You do have to angle it right though. If you pick a certain angle, the blur won't really show up. You just go from dull, lifeless Sims 4 to this. And it's so surprising because I just can't believe that they would ship the game like that, you know? There are color corrections for the game, of course. You can have them installed with this. They will just work together. But even when you're in this mode, like looking at the street street, it just looks so good. All the extra shadows and depth that's added to the objects. Like, obviously you're not gonna be able to play your game like this. You know, this is just meant for screenshots or cinema or machinimas and all that stuff, but I like to switch over to the gameplay when I play my game. It keeps the colors, but it gets rid of all that blur stuff. So you're able to, you know, see everything very easily. So now at this point, we are going to get into the, I guess, more technical part of the video, which is the download tutorial and the install. Of course, links to all of this stuff are pinned in the comments below or found on my website, pixelade.org. You can barely even see the leaves in the street when it's off, but when you have it on, it just comes to life. It's gorgeous. And yeah, it does affect the UI. Like, the UI does get a little bit brighter, and for some, it could be headache inducing, but honestly, after I've gotten used to it, I honestly prefer it like that. When the Sims motives are low, like, the reds are really red. The yellows, of course, are brighter, and the greens are very, very bright, but it's not like super hard to see where it's at. You can still see, you know, where the motive bars are at. It is a little harder to see things on bright screens. Like, when you turn it off, you can see the snowflakes and flowers and suns in the background, and when you have it on, you really can't. But honestly, that's with any reshade preset that's gonna brighten up your game, but still you can see the main things. Like, what you need to be seeing is still there and it's still visible. Oh, now Bob's about to pee himself. I definitely shouldn't have put those motives all the way down. Oh no, he pees himself and then falls asleep in his own pee. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so once you click the link that I have pinned in the comments, it's gonna take you to Gposer's website. At the top, you're going to click on Gshade, but before we download anything, let's actually get into some frequently asked questions about Gshade and how it compares to Reshade, which is another popular program. Well, with Gshade, you're actually going to get more language support in this, whereas with Reshade, you only have English. Gshade is compatible with any preset, whereas Reshade isn't. So if you have Reshade presets from some of your other favorite creators, you can use them with Gshade. So I definitely recommend doing that. Gshade is going to give you the option to download over 1,000 presets during installation, only if you wish though. That is not available with Reshade. You have automated backups, one-click updates, desktop update reminders, a control panel, 267 plus shaders are included. Of course, you don't have to download them all if you don't want to. Some of them will slow your computer down, some of them won't, and just a whole bunch of other stuff that you can see here. I'm not sure if this is able to be downloaded on Mac. I did see a tutorial on how to do it online, even though they don't advertise it's for Mac, so I think you can use it for Mac, though I'm not sure. So when you're ready to download, go to the top of the screen, hover over Gshade and click the download button. And on this page, click Windows Download. It's gonna open up a new tab and your download will begin, and it should automatically go into your downloads folder. So you have the Gshade installer. Go ahead and double click on that and run it. It'll ask you what language you want to use. English for me, agree to the terms and conditions. And now this part is where things get a little bit tricky. It's gonna ask where you want to install Gshade, and you need to pick a video game directory. So you can do this however many times you want for the different games. I already have it in The Sims 4, but I'm gonna show you how to install it there in case you aren't aware. Obviously, you're going to go to your PC, C drive, program files 86, and for me, The Sims 4 is installed under Origin Games, The Sims 4, and I believe it's Game and Bin. Yup, it's right here. So you're gonna click on the opening file, which is TS464. Yours might be different if you're running on a 32-bit system. You're going to click that, you're going to click next. Make sure you find out if you're running a 64-bit system or a 32-bit system, because that will matter. In case you don't know, you can open up a new file in File Explorer, right-click on My Computer or this PC, hit Properties, and you'll be able to find out what you're running. It says System Type 64-bit Operating System right here. So for me, I'm gonna choose the 64-bit. If you're running a 32-bit, then you choose that one. Graphics API, I always choose DirectX 9. Hooking, normal mode, and optional. Install modding shade, phase shade textures, keep current Gshade settings, backup settings and presets, convert existing presets to Gshade format, which is what I would recommend you do if you have Reshade presets. You can enable desktop update reminder, which I actually don't have installed, so I'm going to do that, and install desktop shortcuts. There are a bunch of Final Fantasy presets. You don't have to install them, but I chose to install them anyway. So you're going to click install. So now once that is complete and you've installed it, then you can can open up the file that you have on the desktop. If you don't have one, then you can create one. Click the windows, type in Gshade. What I like to do is once it appears, go over to the right-hand side to where it says open file location, right-click, send to desktop, and that'll create a shortcut on your desktop so that you can access it, and it's right here. I already have one on here, so I'm going to open it up. All right, so this is what the control panel looks like. It'll tell you if there are any updates. You can go over to installations and you can see the games that you currently have it installed on. For me, I have it on The Sims 2, I have it on The Sims 4, and I have it on my train simulator games that I also play. If you want to remove them, remove the installations from the specific games, you can. You can open the installation folder, or you can look at preset settings, and this is pretty cool. So all of the pre-made ones that they have for you, you can uncheck them and remove them if you wish. Under tools, it'll ask you if you want to enable update reminders. I'm actually going to turn that on. And if you need to do preset conversions, you can also do that here. And if you want to get rid of Gshade, you can launch the uninstaller from this folder as well. And they do have support on Discord, their website, and a visual guide in case you need some help, or if there are other things that I don't explain in this video. So now for The Sims 4. You've already installed it under The Sims 4, but I'm going to show you how to do it in case you didn't do that initially at first. You're obviously going to browse this PC, C drive, program files 86, Origin Games, The Sims 4 game and bin, The Sims 4 64. You're going to click that and click next. It's basically going to say the same thing that it did last time. This is what you want to do if you want to add additional games. So if you've already done The Sims 4 like we did earlier, you do not need to do this again. It should already be there. So now you can actually open the installation folder. It's going to take you to your main game files. You can see here, this is how you launch the game, and it's going to create some new files. You do have some Gshade files in here, and you also have two new folders. You have Gshade presets and Gshade shaders. I wouldn't touch the shaders, I would leave them alone, but you're going to be placing your presets in this folder right here. Of course, you can see all of the pre-made ones, and then at the bottom, there are mine, Pixelade gameplay and Pixelade screenshot. So when you download those files, if you want to use mine, just place them in this folder, and you can actually edit them once you go into the game. So if you don't like the way mine look, you can use that as a foundation and you can change things, and there are so many different things that you can change. So once that's in, once that's installed, to pull up the menu, Shift and F2 will pull up the menu, Shift and F3 will turn on and off your preset, whatever you're using or whatever is selected up here at the top. There's a bunch of other things here. There's a settings bar, and you can choose what button you want to set as the overlay and what button you want to set as the toggle key, so you can change that if you want those buttons to be different. There's a whole bunch of other settings here that I'm not going to explain, but you can read over them if you wish. And of course, they have a whole guide on their website about that in case you're interested. These are the shaders. You can click them to turn them on and see what they look like. They're going to add different things, and down here you can edit these things. There are so many options. Changing the blur shade, the shade fill, shade power, black point, white point, literally everything. Every shader has a million settings, and you can really play around with this and customize it to have your Sims game look exactly the way you want it to look. So many settings. I don't use most of them because a lot of them do slow your computers down, but I did add some base stuff just to enhance it without affecting performance literally at all. It runs the same as it does without. But you can play around with this, and you can make it less saturated if you want. You can click on any of the ones that I have selected, and you can go down here and, you know, just play around with it. Let me know down in the comment section below if you've downloaded Gshade, if you plan to, if you've given my presets a try, and I hope you guys like it. Seriously, I seriously love this. It enhances everything. It enhances the world, it enhances the Sims. Like, it just looks so dull and lifeless, and I literally will not go back to playing without a reshade preset, like, ever again. It just makes everything look so beautiful and lively. It sparkles more, and I can't recommend it enough. I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna go take care of Bob now and get him fixed up, but I will see you all next time. So long and happy simming. Bye everyone. This video was brought to you by my supporters on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you'd like to join my community over there, a link is below. Thank you for watching.